please. I'll have to go.
Here,
I can go to Facebook and allow the tag.
Yeah. You can or you can't?
I can.
Okay, hang on. Okay. Hang on a second.
Okay.
I'm supposed to go on a show after this. And the guy just wrote me and said, I don't know what's going on today. To be honest, I'd like to reschedule. I don't know what's happening with the energy today.
I can tell you what's happening with the energy today.
I don't doubt that a bit.
I can tell you exactly what's happening.
Yeah, we're live. Hang on, let me pull it up. Whew, man, yeah,
Okay.
I know. And it's not a coincidence that we're connecting today because I just know Katie. I know my sister, man, and yeah,
Long time no talk, brother.
We've been going through the same thing for the last few days, and last night was the pinnacle of it. But I want to hear what's going on with you. I know there's oh shit, let me find it. Hang on. God, I can't even function as a human here. Okay, here we go. Now let's see.
That's what happens. I'm trying to find a comfortable place to do this from. Okay. I can just walk around. You guys are seeing my shorts and my Airbnb. Just how fancy it is when you travel like this. You just stay in really small, cozy rooms.
Right?
And you never unpack.
What part of France are you in?
I am near Montpellier. I came to the beach.
Yeah.
I just left Toulouse today. It was intense there. And then I went through just the drive that we had to go through had a lot to do with just old stuff. And so we opened up a black hole vortex thing and sucked out as much of that old shitty energy as we could. Right and I actually even have a headache. I never get headaches. I mean, it might be because I've been drinking a lot of French wine at night.
That's the way.
You know,
that's the way to go. All right, let's open the show. Let's open the show. Let's pull everybody in. Pull ourselves in. Hello, Marilyn Biggers, Shanine Banrian.
Hello, people.
Heather Nielsen, Sufi Olsen, Mary Sarmecki, Nicole Rochester, Houston, Jennifer Peters, Terry Willette, Eon Boldy, Linda Winger, Maria Iverson, Katarina De Amor, Debrielle, Nicole Dominique, Mary Walton Robinson, Lisette Bearden, Duncan Alexander, Tanya, Colleen Haldeman, Ella Gore, and Patty Soleto, Roxanne Smith, and Elias and Tara Ma, and Lanny Reed. Okay, we'll stop there. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you for joining us for this reunion. We've both been, and we don't even, Katie and I don't even have to talk. I know. We've both been doing the same thing. Well, we do. We do, but it's...
Yeah, it's just not there. With this voice.
It's up there, but it's here now. But, I mean, it's all coming into the... So, yeah, what's been happening? You went to France. You look like you went...
I'm in France.
Yeah, I mean, you're in France. You look like you've just gone through a transformation. Like a what do they call it? Transfiguration. I call it a transfiguration.
Yeah, it's called becoming free. Freedom looks really good on everybody, you know, when you're not carrying around the weight of like 1,000 old lifetimes or old timelines or the old way of doing things, you know.
Yeah. What pulled you to France? What pulled you to France?
Well, for those of you who know me, sorry, I'm just moving around to find a comfortable spot. So for those of you who know me, I have had a lot of lifetimes in the south of France and in various other parts of France. And some of the work that I would have done here would have been really heavily associated with the Magdalene. But I mean, this extends much beyond this. This is Atlantis, this is Lemuria, this is prehistoric times. And so while what people would know my connection to France as through the Magdalene, this time it's about a lot more than that. This time it's about what came before that. And this time it's about not repeating the murder, poverty, danger, living on the edge all the time, kind of timeline, kind of like life pattern that so many of us were project wound up experiencing for a really long time. And so we are activating what I don't even like the word Christ anymore. I mean, we know I love Jesus, but what I'm down here doing is activating all the purified codes that we've been building for the last couple of years and putting together parts of the crystal system, working with Ukiah. We've got like an all-star lineup that works with Soulogy, you know.
I know, man. I know, and you're out there doing
And
the
we're
work. I have to ask you, this South of France thing has been popping up recently, like guests coming on, talking about it, and there's just something about it. And I know we don't want to get stuck on labels and the names and all that, but I just got to know that whatever you're doing over there has something to do with the physical embodiment, opening of codes, stargates, whatever it is, with what we might refer to as the Jesus Magdalene lineage or journey or
yeah,
something. Talk to me.
those are my peeps. And so actually this is a great story because Todd, whenever I met you was last year. So it's our 1 year anniversary. Happy anniversary.
Yeah, happy anniversary. I love you.
Friendiversary, we call that. I love you. And so when you had me on the first time, which was last May, I had just recently come back from France. I've been here before. And I had, if you remember, I just had moved in with my partner. I was madly in love. I was about to move to Vancouver, and I thought that my life was going to just, this was the time. And so, if you also remember, I very publicly went through a cosmic reset, and I didn't hide what was happening. And so that happened on May 26th of last year. And I was out grid working one day, and my partner, I came home, and my partner had packed his bags. We had never had even one argument. Packed his bags, left, and never spoke to me again. And then most of the people that I would have considered my friends became not my friends within a week. Some of them within a week, some within 2 to 6 months. My entire life fell apart, and I had to pick myself back up off the ground and go move back to Nova Scotia, which is where I live now. And so at the time, I shared about it a lot. And this was the theme of all of our crow's nests. So if anybody wants to see this, you can go to the Soulogy website and also my IndiCrow Energetics YouTube page and see what Todd and I were talking about all May and June and early July last year. Because Todd, you and I have actually been chronicling this together. So it is fitting that you're here now. And thanks for holding space. And so during that time,
thanks for having big etheric balls.
Oh God, you have to do this. So during that time, a bunch of us gate masters and gatekeepers from the respective lines, what we basically did was we put ourselves in the worst situations that we possibly could. So, people were in very bad car accidents, others lost everything too. And all of those moments were a repetition of what the old lines that we used to represent would have been. And so it was a cosmic reset on all counts. And the point of it was, we're going to pull out all the rest of the crap out of the DNA codes that are stopping us. So the crap is the veil, right? Yeah. All the fear, all the pain, all the stuff stopping us from having a good life, that crap is the veil. And so, like, Yukiya is a big part of this as well. Sandra Walter, Julie Roberts, who I share a lot with, a lot of us have just been doing the very best that we could to live a right life and find the crystalline pathway out of the shit.
Yeah.
And so for the last year, I've spent every waking moment coding. And part of it was that there were so many curses, so much pain, a lot of fear that wound up being built into the rose lines. And that was, and that's the one I'm speaking about because that's the one, I know the most about. But, we did that. It wasn't all an attack. It wasn't all this, that, or the other thing. Sometimes it was us being hurt, trying to find ways to make sure we wouldn't be hurt again. We inadvertently built in a lot of things that made our lives not that great. And so if you remember the big story about light workers, how many light workers do you know? There's a few now, but I mean, a lot of us were just suffering for the good of the planet, never getting thanked, on the brink of poverty. I know you know that, brother. You're right here with me. You just give yourself every friggin' day, every bit of your soul, every day. And it would feel like you were invisible. And anybody, like anytime something good would happen, it'd be ripped out. But you just would always keep going, knowing that we'd have this chance. And so right now, I'm here releasing the codes of the chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got help over there?
Interesting. I just had Olga with me, Olga Mijakovic from our team. And like I was saying before, I'm about to go see Vera and Alexi.
God. Oh my God.
So I'll probably meet Marco. They're getting together in Amsterdam.
Marco's there. Hank Verharen's there. Yeah, Lindsay's there. Lindsay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a PowerPoint. And
and then beyond that,
Vera
Oh, you have to hear this. I'm meeting Yukiya.
where
And
at?
Denise
In
in
Peru?
London. Because
Oh, in
no, I'm
London.
going to London as well. Yep.
Whew. Holy shift. Holy
We're
mother
on the move.
fucking shift.
That's why things are happening right now. You know, like if you paid attention to all of the earthquake activity that happened the last 2 days ago, I think it
Yeah.
was the 26th.
Yeah.
Those are the
8.0.
sun disks activating again. Those are the sun disks being cleared. And the sun disks hold a lot of the personal codes for your personal activations, personal skill sets, cosmic connection, galactic connection. And so when all that magma started moving around, like, you know, I know that thank goodness not very many people were hurt. But what that is that there's so many of us who've been working for so long alone. We're now teaming up, and our teamwork is fucking powerful. And things are happening, and they're happening fast. And I can't tell you how many people I know that are doing what I'm doing that are on the road right now. So giddy up, friends. This is going to be a really good solstice.
Yes. When is the solstice? June 21st?
You got it.
And we got 2 eclipses coming.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's
Lionsgate.
June. Lionsgate? Yeah, the eclipses I think are
Yep.
July, and the Lionsgate's 8/8. And man, this is I'm not going to get into what happened to us last night, but it's energetically exactly where you're at. It involved Jesus, Magdalene, the rose thing, and we know as we've been going through this stuff for the last always, but particularly the last since she's been back, which is about 30 days, we're having these things happen. We have typically what'll happen, like today, I won't mention any names, but an individual, a feminine, divine feminine, reached out and said, "What the F? WTF? This is what happened to me. Can you shed any light on it?" Morgan got back with her and said, "This is exactly what's happening." And other things that we've experienced together, the next day, somebody will tell us same thing happened on an individual level. So this is happening collectively, what you're doing, what others are doing, what we're all doing, you know, and you're explaining it so well too. I mean, it's embodiment. Yeah.
I've had some practice, you know,
I know you
trying
have.
to find ways to talk about it. But it's like, you know, it's been interesting because I see so many people getting their opportunity to move out of their cycles. But, you know, as you and Morgan probably can attest to it, it really looks like the cycle's repeating itself as you're about to step out.
Yeah, it does. It
You
did.
know?
I'm going to use the term "it did" because
Me too.
something happened. Something
So
happened
true.
last night that was. Yeah, and it's not just us. It's you. It's many people. And
Oh yeah.
from a human ground crew perspective, you know, from the trenches, you're explaining it. The human part of it, man. I mean, like it was an MF, man. It was a mofo. It was like, holy
Yeah.
shit. I mean, when is this going to
Well, I
end?
don't know.
Yeah, you know. But even a few days ago, I was vomiting, purging all day long. Like I've never been through anything like it before, man. It was just like, what? And she held space the whole day, kept my body moving, go here, go there. Whew, man, and other people were talking about it. Yeah.
Oh
So,
yeah. And I
so
think it's
tell,
so important, you know. I'm sorry.
no, I
We
was
have a
just gonna,
lag, and I just want to apologize now about
no,
the fact that I feel like I'm talking over you. I'm really sorry
no,
about that. I don't mean.
no, man. We're like peanut butter and jelly, man. You know, we're like peanut butter and jelly. Uh,
Yeah.
what I was going to say is, so what's happened since you've been there? I mean, can you tell us like some of the personal experiences, like the divine
Yep.
episodes? I mean, how you've seen it, third eye, physical eyes. I mean, whatever, anything.
Well,
Give us the code.
I'll start with my story of yesterday. You know, first and foremost, I used to never be able to tell anybody where we were because back in those days, certain energies were able to infiltrate my system, and it wasn't particularly safe. You know, I'm not gonna lie. This was not a nice thing to be doing. You know, this was not nice, but it is nice now. So thing number one, I met Olga. I'm about to go meet Lorelei from Lorelei's Musings. She's gonna go meet me in 2 days. We're gonna go to the grotto, Mary Magdalene's grotto, where
Wow.
they supposedly have a piece of her tibia and some of her hair, different things.
Wow.
And she and I and another sister, Olga, you know, we had all been here intersecting in our lifetimes for hundreds, if not thousands of years, you know, way back before this even happened. And, you know, through our soul connection, just the internet, you know, places like what you create, we found each other. And then, you know, worked in tandem. So instead of being alone, this time we came together. And that's the first big change.
Yeah.
A big thing that happened for me, I mean, like, I'll tell the poverty story because I know it's one that a lot of us are with. You know, I had $150 in my bank account yesterday. That's it.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And I have to travel for 3 more weeks. $150 was in my bank account. And as I got here, you know, the old Rose line used to just be a series of disasters. So my computer broke within 5 minutes of me getting into this country. And so I was cut off from communicating with people, didn't have the money to go buy the new part, just working and trying to get it together. And I just kept feeling like, you know, I know that I'm fine. Everything always works out for me. I moved past this because I've been in a really good resource circulation the last 6 months. And, you know, at some point yesterday, I was like, you know what? I'm not fine. And I don't know how I'm going to pay to get food or to the next place or home back to Canada. So I asked for help of my community. I posted on the wall on my Facebook wall. And within about 4 minutes of me asking for help very genuinely, my entire community came behind me and made sure that I have everything I will need. And I mean, like, I have more, I mean, I never really have a whole lot. Let's just say that I'm going to be able to make the rest of this journey very comfortably. My rent is paid. I can eat what I want. If I feel scared, I can leave a place. And it was so starkly different because so many of us who work like this, people don't understand what we give, you know, and I know you know that. And so they just like expect it for free. And if you ask for money, then there's something wrong with you. You know what I mean? Like a couple of years ago, it's kind of petered out, but a couple of years ago, it was all, well, the light workers should work for free. Yeah, sure. But like, when we're out here hauling our asses, like, how do you think we pay our bills? Our community needs to support us just like we can support our community. And that wasn't happening for a really long time. And like for me, the biggest, oh, I'm gonna cry now, but like for me, being able to ask for help and to receive it so quickly, and not only in money, with kind messages, pictures, energy, people sharing about the courses, you know, to have that kind of a turnaround was amazing. Now, of course, today when I went to take some of the money out of my PayPal, I got put up for review, which is just another typical thing, like, you know, bump in the road. But I'm not going to get mad about it because I know and I trust that that's, you know, that this is over.
Yeah.
And what else has been happening? Let's talk about the work. Oh, sorry. Go. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Are you finding a change in the resources as well?
Yeah, we went through, you know, Morgan came back 30 days ago. Of course, we still haven't launched anything. I've let go. I see the alignment. I see the alignment in the non-physical. I know it's all going to happen. I just let it go. And then about, I don't know, it trickled in like over the last 30 days. It was just like everything started coming to a stop. I was watching it and I was hearing, okay, hold, hold, hold. And then I'm just seeing what little we have just go down, 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 down. So we did a session about 2 or 3 days ago. We said, one of us or both of us or Soulogy, there's a block. And I said, this is collective. I even did I was even on the show and I was talking about it. I said, something's going on in the collective. Something's going on because abundance, and we'll just be frank, money, resources is energy. We all know that. It's energy. It's not to be separated. And something was happening. I couldn't really explain it all. So we did a session, probably the same thing you're going through, the same exact time within 24 hours. We just laid it out and said, look, here's the deal. We put it out there and then we let it go. And then the block was gone. And it started to trickle back in. And then whenever I woke up this morning, after going through the most incredible divine episode by far that I've ever had, that I've ever been a part of. And I saw Katie IndiCrow send a contribution. And I knew in that moment, I said, you know what? She doesn't have any money, but I know she's right. Because I didn't even know you were coming on. I got up and said, Katie's going to be on. Oh my God. But so
Morgan wrote me last night about it. So, you know, surprise.
Yeah, I knew in that moment, I knew that we never we never disconnect. You and I don't. I mean, a lot of etherical communication. And I just knew in that moment that you were in the same exact place, that you knew exactly what's happening. And maybe we can't put it into words, but energetically, it's the exact same thing, which was reinforcement and validation for me and confirmation that it's not just Morgan and Todd. It's not just Morgan, Todd, and Katie. It's Julie Roberts. It's Amanda Lawrence. It's all these people. Vera, I've been watching Vera and Augusti bulldozing through that veil. And
I can't wait to hug them.
Yeah, you know, and it's just like, I'm getting chills. I mean, it's just like,
Yep.
Those loops were there. Those loops came in fast. I don't say fast and furious, but they came in louder and louder and louder over the last 30 days. And I just kept hearing hold, 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 hold. And then it's broke. It's broken, wide open, like really wide open. Like we're divine human beings physically embodying everything that means. And that includes what we might refer to as supernatural powers, skills, and abilities. It just doesn't work in the way that the human would think. It works like this. It works like this.
Well, and you know, for me, a big one, and this was the thing, you know, everybody I was with yesterday. So I'm obviously supporting my community as I'm doing this. I would never not. And so I'm with my people that are doing this stuff out here, and every one of us hit our frigging roadblock yesterday. Every one of us hit that point that I've been communicating with closely. They were like, fuck this. All right. This is annoying. You know, it's like not even bad. You don't get angry. You might feel frustrated to let those feelings out, but you're just like, all right, the thing that is my worst thing is happening right now. And when you see those things happening to so many people, this is not a punishment, and this is not a sign that we've done it wrong. It was an opportunity to change the narrative. It was an opportunity to make the shift. And so I also saw each and every one of the people I was connected to, myself included, learn valuable lessons yesterday. And mine was, why was I waiting so long to ask for help?
Yeah.
You know, for me, it was, you ask for help and it's going to always be there now. And it hasn't always been there, but now it is. And I thank you to my community. I'm still working on sending the thank yous out to all of you. But I just want to say thank you so much for hearing me, because you have no idea what you are creating the space for me to create with your support. And, you know, some people say, you know, they'll send, and you know this, Todd, they'll send $4 and they'll say, oh, it's not very much. It's not about how much you send, you know, and it's not even always money. I've got a new concept. Do you want to hear my new concept?
Yes.
I've been practicing it, because abundance is not a word I like. It just feels heavy to me, because I feel like we say it all the time when we're broke. And so the uttering of abundance, in my opinion, has got a layer of energy on it, and is connected to kind of a way of resource flow that I was wanting to expand upon. Because when we think about it, and this is something we talked about many times, it's not just about money. It's about sharing resources, sharing ideas, sharing friendships, sharing food. And it's about being able to give what you have, but also to receive what you need in divine balanced flow. And so I've been testing this thing called crystalline resource circulation for the last 6 or 7 months. And I'll tell you, it's been working. I haven't been broke. I mean, I almost was the other day, but that was because I had to ask for help, and that was something very different. And so what crystalline resource circulation means is that I'm putting myself in a flow that anything I have to offer this world, I'm going to be in the best place to give it. And I'm going to have the grace, the wisdom, the knowledge to give it at that time. So that means that if somebody would benefit from my help, then I'm going to be able to be there. You know, if somebody, you know, needs something that I can give, like a support, a skill, something, I'll be there. But what it also means is that, hey, I want to learn about this thing. I shit you not. I'll think about something. I'll be like, oh, I'd really like to meet a light worker or a person who does this. Within usually 10 to 20 minutes, somebody connected to exactly that comes out of the woodwork, messages me. And often it's not even a person I've ever spoken to before. So it's about so much more than money, you know?
Yeah.
Like money helps, but like I feel like once I've broadened my perspective, I still like money, not gonna lie. And I'm not one of those people that has a hate on for it. I don't. But I did. You know, and also a thing, I shunned money because I saw how it corrupted people in other parts of my lifetime. And I have a lot of healing to do around my ability to accept and receive. And I think that that's something that a lot of light workers are working through, right? Is like, We gave everything for so long, and that's part of our story. And it's part of our story to change,
Yes.
you know?
Transform.
Friendships, family, food, a house, love, you know, we get that now. We get that now.
It would make sense to me that this has all happened, you know, because we've cleared those
Yeah.
things. You know, Morgan said a couple of weeks ago, we're not light workers, we're shadow workers. You know,
Yeah.
that we were talking about. We're going to do a workshop in January. We got invited to be speakers and do a workshop. We're going to do one on sacred union.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh yeah, so it's sacred sexuality, sacred union. She goes, no, but there's something before that, shadow work. Because you've got to do the shadow work. And whether it's in regard to sacred union or anything else that we're wanting to attract to ourselves in order to serve the collective, because that's what it is. It's all the same thing, serving yourself, serving the collective in that purest sense. We have to empty the container, man. And it's recently, it seems like the latter part, the last 10 days has been like this. Somebody's talked about it, Morgan, somebody talked about it, how you're going to go through a Stargate. Before you can go through that Stargate, like going through the eye of the needle, you can't have all that baggage. And it's like we went through this final, life, summary lifetime, summary moment, summary pre-shift, summary pre-elevation or something. And all this stuff came back. Like I'm over there 3 or 4 days ago, and I'm having these memories of molestation at 2 or 3 years old. And all I can come out of my mouth is don't hurt, please don't hurt me, please don't hurt me, please don't hurt me. And I'm thinking, man, I've cleared this shit. What the hell's going on here? You know, but I think that's what was happening. We were having to all clear that stuff out, and it was like a bottleneck, and we've just shot through it like a big soulgasm. You know what I mean? And it's not just one of us. And that's what you're bringing up too, is these people physically coming together, their soul coordinates in the physical coming together. Holy shit. I mean, like you and Vera and Augusti, Marco.
That's going to be so fun.
I'm
so excited.
We're talking like cosmic nukes going off, man.
Well, I mean, this is the part where it gets really good. And so I encourage everybody to allow it to get really good. Yeah. I mean, if something comes up, lean the fuck into it. Lean into it. You know, I shit you not, I laid in my bed bawling about leaving Damien. Because honestly, Todd, I remember coming on these trips and we never came home. You know, like when I was leaving to come and do this, like the last time I was in France, I had my ass handed to me. My ass got handed to me. That was the worst, hardest work I've ever done. And I'm not afraid to admit that. I don't think that makes me weak. I had to come back to all that. And so there's a lot that you go through to get yourself clear of the fear. Yeah. And I had some, not going to lie. I had some.
Man, I've
had it, you know.
We all had, even up to the last. Yeah.
You feel it going. I'm going to Marseille in 2 days. The last time I stepped foot in that city, I was more violently ill from the codes that I picked that I had to clear there. The work that I did there was so hard on my body that I actually vomited for 48 hours straight and barely got to go anywhere in the city. I'm not going to lie. It's daunting to have to go back there because I don't want to feel that way again. So you just leaned into it. And, you know, like with Damien.
Do you feel that fear is gone? I mean, I feel like fear's not what it was anymore. Like I know there's a residual. I know that there's that.
Yeah.
But it just feels it's gone. I asked Morgan the other day. Well, I even observed it in my relationship. I observed it in her. I observed it in myself, and I observed it in other people. We have a friend here, 67 years old. The lady that I got here, just like you, I got here. I was told go to Kauai. I'm like, what the fuck is Kauai? I get over here. I'll respect Mother Kauai, and I land. I got a few $100.
She's like,
and the lady's like, I got 100. She has 100 friends on Facebook. She got one common friend. She goes, you can rent my room for 6 weeks. Anyway, I ended up meeting her. Becomes a dear friend. She's an auntie on the island. She's been here 36 years. She was called here years ago. Grid worker, the whole 9 yards. And Morgan gets here a few weeks later. She tells Morgan, I'm never leaving the island. She left last week. She left. She sold everything she had. She was called.
Wow.
And she left. And that's what leaning into it is. And here's a woman who's 67 years old, who's leaving her whole everything behind. Everything behind. And she says, I really don't know what's going to happen. Oh my God.
Can I interject? I just want to throw a sidewinder for a second.
Yeah.
Because I have my own 67 or 70 something year old person in my life.
Yeah.
And one thing that I've been noticing is that, fear is gone. And I'm watching people carry things with them their whole entire life. Yeah. Like older blueberries, especially right now. Oh my goodness. Faye, if you're watching, you are a badass. And what they're doing is like, they were holding the space of the frequency so that a lot of the other people could pass through, but they were also holding some of the other stuff too. Yeah. And what I've been watching is just even the very last frequency holders of the frequency that were waiting and place setting are now letting it all go. Yeah. And so, I do think it's different. I mean, it's energy resonance, it's memory, but it's also like we have habits. Yeah. We have habits. And it takes time to change a habit. And so I think sometimes that is a patterned response, not even necessarily relating to any reality that exists anymore. It's just your mind remembers, shit, I've done this before, didn't work out. Yeah. So you factor out that pattern and you create the new pattern. And that's what we're doing right now. And that's why it's so cool. We're all meeting up and we're getting to do all these things. It's like we're making new patterns. Yeah. And sometimes some of us, we do put ourselves in a little bit of toughy situations because we know we can get out of them. So did we just do that right here? Fuck yes, we did. But it wasn't. Back to your point, getting out of it wasn't as bad. In fact, it wasn't bad.
I asked this guest the other day who was connected. I can't remember who it was. I can remember it energetically. She was, again, quiet, doing the work for years, and very connected, very pure. And I said, in my way, I was like, hey, can you tell us what the hell's going on? And she said,
what'd she say?
She said, people have had enough. They've had enough of the suffering and the pain. They've had enough of they've just had enough, period. And they're making these decisions within their own essence to say no more. I will not participate anymore. No. Which means that the releasing that is pulling in what we're all experiencing now. And the great thing too is this whole thing about where two or more gather. Even if it's for 5 minutes, even if it's for 10 minutes, the magic of that is profound. It's absolutely mind-blowing. We can't even comprehend it. And that's what we're getting. What we're getting over here is we'll go through these things at least once a day, okay? And then we come out of it. Yeah, we come out of it and go, oh my God, that's the we've never been through anything like it. And then the next day it gets tough. But we've all told and understood the human aspect can't even begin to understand what you just did. And that is a collective statement. It's happening to us all. Yeah.
I think we're just, I know that some people are still working through, because remember, there are still those that were awakening.
Yeah.
And, I read a report the other day of somebody saying, I can sense dark ships around the planet. There's evil about to be done. There wasn't. Yeah. But who's to say in their energetic memory that there wasn't,
That's right.
And like them expressing that was part of their process of moving through, coming to the point where they realize that there is no danger anymore, that there is no dark except for that which we ignore.
Yeah.
Sure. And it's, and even, okay, I drove by a really, really sketchy castle today, and it was normally the kind of place where when I used the word protection and attack, I would have probably put both of those words into a sentence and maybe asked for some help. But then I was like, you can't get attacked anymore. There's nothing to be scared of. And why the fuck would you need protection? You've got love. So I put myself on the higher anchored timeline, and I don't even use time anymore. My crystalline ascension pathway, and I just rocked it out, and all the people around me. I was on a bus. I always travel by bus because you can meet some amazing people. It was the most amazing bus ride probably I've ever had. Just everybody was so helpful. Everybody was so kind. Some amazing conversations. And that was the experience I chose to have, as opposed to, there's a castle. Fuck, somebody probably died there. Maybe me, and not to say that I ignore that stuff happened. But
Yeah.
that's not what this is about anymore. I'm here to have fun.
That's
I'm here
right.
to activate the codes and learn some stuff and, you know, share it with you. I saw the Mona Lisa. Oh my God.
What was that like? Did you get downloaded?
How about talk about buckle and tears?
Yeah.
Probably one of the most beautiful, if no, it wasn't one of, that's the most beautiful piece of art I've ever seen in my life.
This is really.
And then shortly thereafter, getting to see the Venus de Milo and then Artemis. And, you know, so when you asked what we're doing, another thing we're doing is we're taking all of the beautiful little parts. So you have all these gods and goddesses and people who did all this stuff, right? All these threads of stories that were being worked through for all this time. And now we're taking them and we're integrating them. It's not a story about this person or that piece of that. It's a story about us again.
That's right.
You know, we are not fragmented by timelines anymore. We are not fragmented by stories. This is the great unification. And that's what I'm here for. So yeah, I just left Olga. I'm going to see Lorelai in a couple days. Going to go see, you know, Vera, Lexi, Marco, whoever else is in Amsterdam. Then on to England. And I'm going to go on tour in England there.
If you make it out of,
you know,
if you make it out of Amsterdam alive, I'm just kidding.
Look, they'll have to drag me out of there. You know, I love it. I'm so excited. You know, and it's like I'm so amazed by how many of us, we don't even talk about it, but like 5 gatekeepers of my life, myself included, chose to travel on the same day, May 23rd. We all got where we needed to go on that exact day. We're working in such unison right now, and it blows me away. Like we've always been doing this, you know, we've always been working like this, you know, but now is the time we realize it. And as you know, whenever we kind of like bring it into this dimension and we consciously do it, and then we begin to be consciously co-creating from this part of ourselves, that's when the true magic starts. And so honestly, I feel like the birth of the new civilization has already occurred. It's already happening. We're living it right now. And so when you said, what's your transformation? I crossed over to the other side, bro. I'm fucking loving it here.
We're with you.
Yeah.
We're with you. And
I know you are.
Morgan had got this intel probably right after the full moon, 18th. And she said something huge is happening 20th through the 23rd. And that period of time was just, that final dash to the finish line through the Stargate. That was the eye through the needle, you know, the pre-eye through the needle. And so you're telling me you're traveling on the 23rd, and other people traveling on the 23rd doesn't surprise me a bit. Yeah. And
my birthday was May 21st, which is traditionally, and it's also one of the lineups of Aldebaran, a whole bunch of stars from the Pleiadian star system, which is another thing that's.
What star did you say?
Aldebaran, ALDEBARAN.
That's like the star that's been speaking to me since I've been in Kauai. That star.
No coincidence there, bro.
That's the eye of Taurus. That's the
eye of the bull.
That is the one that watches over the Pleiadians. I got this whole cosmic history thing. It came from Andromeda to, let's see, what was Andromeda to Sirius, Sirius to.
Oh no. He just got so powerful. Oh, there he is.
Yeah. Anyway.
We missed you a little bit. You cut out. Can you go back after what you said after Sirius? Because it was important. You were just so powerful.
It was Andromeda to Sirius to Orion's Belt to Aldebaran to the Pleiades, and then the Pleiades were the point people. They were like the Marines. They're the ones that brought it in to the Earth. And yeah, man. So that star, like, I mean, it's just like been in my face. It really has. Up to about a month ago, but because it's not on, I can't see it in the sky now. But that's been huge. Talking to me, January, February, the whole story. That's amazing that you said that. You know, it just kind of blows my mind.
Well, we're also doing so much intergalactic integration, right? Because like one thing that's happening now, also that I'm super excited about for this season, is that we're taking the pieces of the codes that all the different civilizations created. And that's star populations and Earth populations, and we're making them into mega unified codes. So how it used to work was that we'd put the codes in the systems, the fresh ones, and then everybody connected to those lines, we'd go off, you know, on our own separate work, getting it together, eventually so that we'd be able to come to this point. We've negotiated intergalactic peace. That's done. And so a lot of the winter work, and I spent a lot of time with Julie and Patty doing this, you know, and I know others were as well, it was we were working on purifying the codes of relations. Like I had a coding class. My coding class, every single participant in it, hi guys, came forward and became an ambassador of peace for their star system civilization trajectories. And, you know, the way that we are coming together is important. The Hyades was paying a lot of attention to me today as well. You know, and they were saying they would really wanted me to mention them, you know, because they're right up there with the Pleiades and Aldebaran. And I'm not saying it right, but you know what I mean. And yeah, it's just the stars are speaking very clearly now.
Yes. Yes. We were out 2 nights
They've
ago.
done a good job.
We were out 2 nights ago because we were up kind of halfway up a mountain, and Morgan's looking at the stars. It's like, look at that. Look at that. She could see the lines, you know, the lines, the grid, basically. Like for the first time, like seeing what the shapes were and all that. And I was like right behind her, like, yeah, you know, I mean, it's the veil has a physicality as well as a non-physicality, I guess is what I'm saying. So I think we're seeing that.
I fully agree.
Yeah.
I fully agree. And I actually, you know, back in the day, whenever I was like, how are people going to know what we're doing? You know, because I know that the work that we do will be fully well known. Not like let's get famous, but it will be understood a lot more and in different ways than it ever has been in different lifetimes for a very long time. And I think that part of it is because we can actually physically see it. Yeah. Not only do we feel it, not only do we feel it, but now we also see it. Like I delight whenever people who are not like this start posting pictures of the sunspots, like the sun streams. Yeah. And start becoming like, to me, or the trees, to me, that's the beginning of the opening in a gentle, soft, subtle way. And, you know, there is a space, I suppose, of the old way we did awakening where you have to hit the brick wall. And this goes back to your other point. Yeah, I do think you need to decide it's enough. You do need to say, I'm fucking done. Yeah. You know, I'm doing something different now. But I think once you do that.
Yeah. Yeah. At the detriment, you know, regardless of what the consequence of that decision means to the human psyche, the human wounded child, you know, that doesn't want to take full responsibility, fully empower itself. But look, we've done it. I mean, I feel it. It's in my bones. I can feel it talking to you. I had a conversation with a lady yesterday, beautiful lady, been in the game for a long time. Coach, life coach, channel, and all that stuff that so many have been, and created kind of a mini controversy. She said, she was explaining her view, which was that, you know, I said, hey, I think that when you get right down to it, we're all beating at the same vibration. It just doesn't look that way. How do we know that how do we know anything? How do we know that we're not warm dirt? How do we know anything? You know, all we really know is you're you and I'm me, and I'm only going to be here one time. And we've talked about this before, Katie.
I'm sorry, do we even actually know that I'm you and you're me sometimes? Like, I don't even know that sometimes. Sorry, keep going. I just have to say, we don't even know that much.
Yeah. She brought up a quote from Yogananda, which was basically saying that any type of mission, any type of purpose was not accurate, and that the quote was something like this: who in the hell would come to Earth to learn? Such a dense, thick, heavy place. And I said, I don't agree. I said, I don't agree with Yogananda. I don't agree with that. I think we came here because we're the balls of the fucking universe. We came here in this densest, thick vibration because you can only go above the line as far as you've gone below the line. So we are going to take this light, this outer breath of Mother Universe, to a place it's never been before. That's what we're doing here. And then it created a little of a controversy because people are like, I can't believe you disagree with Yogananda. Well, Yogananda puts his pants on just like I did, you know, just like I do. We're all that, you know, every one of us. But I'm not picking on them. I'm just saying we came here. The human is the hero, and the human is not just a physical human. The human is a divine essence that is compiled of all the galactic, all the angelic, all the divine essences, all the dark and all the light, all however you want to put it, you know.
All of it.
And that's not been done. And that's a hell of a job, you know.
No, and I think, honestly, and this might be controversial, but, you know, I'm not afraid of that. Honestly, I think that we're going to be discarding a lot of the older teachings. And maybe we're not disrespectfully disregarding them, but honestly, They serve their purpose. We are no longer, we are the teachers now. Planet Earth has ascended, is ascending. We are now the ones that are responsible to show the rest of the universe how to do this.
That's right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And I all teachings they're designed in the context from which they were operationalized. They're designed to get you through and experience and understand where we're at then. We're not there anymore. And so I feel that as we shift and we grow, God, I've had to change my own friggin' teachings because the world has changed so much that I refuse to hold on to an outdated idea. I'm not going to teach anybody something that's already been done. I'll share that it happened. But to me, it's more like I'm really excited because we're kind of at the point where we are writing the new paradigm. This is the new story. And going back to how exciting it is to get to travel through Europe and meet all these different light workers. This has never happened at this level for us before, you know? And so I just think that I think I say it with all due respect, of course, but like there are stories, you know, where we have to unite our energy with somebody else to be more ourselves, or, you know, like you have to give everything in order to do stuff. You can't drink wine or smoke weed. It's like, well, I'm going to unite with myself because I'm my own queen.
That's right.
I'm
Me
smoke
too.
weed when I want to. I'm going to finish my day with a glass of wine. I'm going to say the word fuck about 15 times. And then I'm gonna go dancing, you know. And in the middle of it all, yeah, I'm at these sites and I am tuning the earth, but I'm not. It's not. I am pious when I need to be, but like, you know, one of the big things that was a hold up in my life is that the Essene order really didn't like. You know, there were so many places that felt that you had to be a certain way in order to achieve the gifts. And I also think that we're moving out of that into a place where it's not really about a formula, it's about a personal experience and your personal embodiment experience. Because, like you said, we're made up of all these different things. There are people here who are activating parts of their star parts I don't even think they've ever been activated on the planet before. So, a formula based on what was working 40 years ago might not necessarily work for them. You know, just like how everybody's energy system, they don't all look the same. Some people have chakras, some don't. Some choose to operate one way or the other. There is no right or wrong way. It's about what works for you, what makes you feel excited, and what makes you feel, you know, what are you vibing your highest at? And that's what we need to be supporting each other at. You know, repeating dogma doesn't help.
Right. That's absolutely right. And the other, you know, the thing is we've opened up these codes within us. And what's happened is, as within, without. So what's happened is these energies, which we would say is on the external, you know, family, star family, whatever it is, has now can come in, has physically come in, and so I was a couple nights ago. We're sitting there talking where we sit in these chairs, right? This is an example, and I'm looking at Morgan. It's dark, and right behind her, I see this red, really red, fiery eye, but in just one.
Oh, weird. Okay?
And I said, I'm not imagining things. I just saw this. And she said, well, you know what to do, right? And I said, okay, I'll ask it what it is. Anyway, have a conversation with it. And it was an off-planet nature being. It was somehow connected to the elders, to Sasquatch. You know, but it was not. And it was not the Sasquatches that leave and come back. And you know, that kind of, it was an off-planet, off-universe nature being. And so then she said, well, ask her what it's doing here. So I'm like, okay, so what are you doing here? And all I could say is, because you know how sometimes it's hard to put it into words, it just told me, we're here for the party. We're here for the gala. And I looked around, and again, it's dark, and I could see in the little lot that we were in, all this energy moving around. Morgan's looking in the sky, and she's like, look at all the energy moving around, lights moving around. You know, we've brought this in, but what we've brought in is us. It is us. You know, it is just more of our composite. You know,
I agree. I had actually, for my birthday each year, I normally get visited by the beings that I work with, and so I get a little light show in the sky. You know. And there's more of them now, and it's different than it used to be. And it's like, and it's, a lot of it is ourselves reflecting ourselves. Some of it is stars, or the fact that we just, you know, a star has a consciousness, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, you're communicating with the consciousness of a star and a star group through connecting to it. So, yeah, you are having a conversation. And when that star is dancing, that could be your soul group communicating with you, you know? And that's another thing I really like is that I feel so many people are opening up to it. And like this whole disclosure thing where it was supposed to be spaceships coming in, like, I mean, maybe they are still happening. That's part of this. But I love this soft, gentle way that it's happening, playful. The playfulness of it all. Because honestly, Earth is a playful planet, at least as I remember it. You know, Gaia as a being likes to have fun. You know, and so do a lot of us who came here. And I mean, like we were inspired by her and the people that live here. And I know that there are still some people working through an inferiority complex, and I just want them to know that you're good enough. You deserve to be happy. Nobody came here to suffer. You know, you haven't done anything wrong. If you fucked up, we all did. It's part of the lesson. Just forgive yourself, forgive others. Let's get on with it. Like, let's do it. This is the time for the good stuff. Let the good times roll, you know?
And ask for assistance.
I wonder if they heard the disco coming from the disco ships. Did the nature being hear the disco being broadcast through the crystal?
I don't know, man. I don't know, but that's interesting you say that too, because when she was looking at the stars, she said, I'm seeing this like the first person that ever saw it laid out as it's coded for us to see. And I understood what she was saying. And then she said, I'm seeing, and I think we have before, all of us have seen the stars as sentient, but not in the same way. It's different when you actually experience and embody it and feel it to your bones. And that's what she's saying. I'm actually seeing them all as sentient beings, you know, and that's what I could kind of get from that off-planet nature being, is that, you know, the sentient being, everything is sentient. Everything is coming in now, and it's coming into clarity now. And that's why you're seeing, I think, so many people taking pictures, filming. I was watching that lady, Gina Colvin, yesterday. She had a picture of a ship on a video that, I'm telling you, if you look at the screen my face is on, was bigger than my head. And it was going, and you could not deny it. I mean, you're looking at it going, oh my, what else could it be? Because it's moving, you know, what else could it be? So what is that? I don't know what it is, but it's part of us. We've activated that, you know?
Yeah. Wow. Well, I mean, we asked for all that help. We asked for ourselves to come back, and now we're here. And this kind of goes back to the other thing that I said earlier on. This is about also learning to accept and learning to receive.
Yeah.
Because there is a certain amount of acceptance and receiving of a gift. You know, so I think that there's that barrier of unworthiness, that barrier of I can't experience this, or I need you to do this for me. You know, that was a big one that happens with some people around. Is like, some people will wait for somebody like me, and it's like, oh, it's great, we'll help you, of course, but like, hey, guess what, you're an expert too. And that's, you know, and that's the best part about you. And my big wish for this year is, you know, to facilitate more self to soul, you are fucking awesome connection, because this is really about us each becoming our best selves and just sharing that all the time. Like, it isn't about a uniform method. And now I think the coolest thing about my job is that I get to meet people and see the depth of their skills. You know, my soul sessions, a lot of the work is I just see your skill. I'm very good at that. So I'm like, oh, you have that. Cool. And it's like the sheer range of amazing skills and amazing people that are here, not even receiving them, creating them from scratch, because it's a brand new energetic territory we've never been in before.
That's right.
Oh,
that's
nerdgasm.
Right.
Like, this is just the coolest time. And so I just would like, if anybody taking things home from this could say, you know, I did talk about the rose line, but I'm not part of it anymore. I'm not part of any other line. I'm part of Earth's crystalline ascension pathway now. I am one with everyone. I do not embrace any stories that separate me from them any longer. I'm here creating peace, fun, joy, love, honesty, realness. Yeah, sometimes it's shit. That's okay. We're still fixing things.
That's it.
But I mean, like, you know.
You just hit it. And I'm not saying anyone needs to do anything. All I'm saying is
No.
The day is coming. It's here. If it's not for you today, it'll be tomorrow or the next day. And what that is, no more private groups, no more anything but one circus tent, one infinite circuit tent. Everyone's included. Total inclusion. No one's left out, whether you like it or not. And like you said, even those things that have got us here, even those things that have been given to us in a unique fashion, like a past life or something, it's separation. The oneness is Todd, is Katie, it's everybody here. It's us in this living moment. It's not even present. It's eternal. It's eternal.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. And I still connect to the stuff, you know, it's like, oh, you know, I was being a crystal rainbow dragon yesterday when I was in France. I was doing a bunch of work and just like going under the tunnels. And I was a crystal rainbow dragon. So yeah, I still identify as that.
Absolutely.
I still have my dragon knowledge. I still connect to that. But I'm not separate because I'm a dragon. That's just a part of the Earth's that's just a part of galactic consciousness that I connect to. That, you know what I mean? And so it's like, it's I'm not saying, you know, and I don't want people to think I'm disrespecting anything or where they've come from or what they've offered, because I'm certainly not. It's just that I'm not in a separate group from you anymore because I chose this pathway. I have experiences that are influenced by the pathway that I created for myself, and I contribute those to future situations when needed.
Yeah.
I feel like we all went and had all those varieties of experiences so that one day we could bring them back together.
That's right.
It was too much of a job. In whole, how that all was, it probably would have been too much a job. I totally understand why we split up. I totally understand why we operated the way that we did. And I'm so grateful to everyone who worked so hard. But it's like, it's now like, hey, do you want to come to my playground? You know, like I've got donuts.
I got donuts.
Yeah, do you have juice? You know, maybe I can share my donuts and you can give me something to drink. You know?
Wow. Yeah, we've got to keep connecting as you take these little trips. You know, it was nice. We never did a video, but I connected Marco and Vera. We did. Soulogy did. It wasn't me. I don't know how it happened, but and then Marita is on to right now.
Yes, she's wonderful. She's so lovely.
She connected with Michael Van Damlen and a couple of people over in Israel, and then now she's in Portugal. We met this really
because Rosalind is also in Israel too, I think.
Rosalind's there. Now Marita's in Portugal, and she's evidently connecting with people through Soulogy in Portugal. And then we met this lady the other day, Maya Magicar, something like that. Oh my God.
I haven't met her quite yet. Yeah.
She's from Slovenia. She was a criminal attorney. She gets the call. She leaves her lot. She did it. She packed her stuff, moved, went everywhere, ends up in Portugal. And yeah, she was cool talking to her because big Magdalene thing, you know, and then she was talking about the money thing. This was all leading right up to this. All when you were going through this, we're going through this, everybody's going through this, about to go through the eye of the needle. And she says, I don't know about money, you know, in her own way. She said, I've had to remove layers and layers of beliefs and this and that, like we all have. And then she said, all I know is I'm supposed to do what I'm supposed to do, and that it'll come. Well, everything will come. Does. And I thought, wow, that's it. And, you know,
even in your darkest moment, like I really had that, you know, it was May 26th last year that I came home and that happened.
Yeah.
And with the partner, the story I started off with, well, on May 26th this year, here's one for you. So Olga and I are hanging out in Paris doing our work. And we were on our way to see some of the Vierge Noire, so the Black Madonna statues. You've seen me post a couple pictures of it. And so those statues hold very specific codes from things that we were doing before that. You know, this comes from the Temple of Isis. This comes from before that. Even Pangea, some of it, you know. And so we rock up to the church, you know, it's like 2:30 in the afternoon. So that's not church service time on a Saturday. Well, the church was full and we were like, oh, damn, not going to be able to get in there. Really want to see these statues. Yeah, well, I walked up to the front of the church. Do you know what was going on?
What?
They had just welcomed a second statue from an obscure part of the France that had come from Egypt. And they were parading around the two statues in a church at a mass specifically about the divine God, like Mary Magdalene, but I was saying Ave Maria, all this other stuff. And so I walk up and I mean, I buckled because I've worked with those statues many times. I buckled and it was just, there was older women all around and just hugging and holding your hand and pushing you into the full church to make sure they knew I was on a pilgrimage, and Olga too. So they just, you're on a pilgrimage, take my spot, stand in front of me so that you can connect with that statue, you know? So not only was it, oh, you show up at a church and you get two for the price of one, but then you experience the love, kindness, sisterhood, and humanity that part of what is awesome about being a human, that part about like that loving, kind, amazing part of humanity that I, like to focus my attention on. And that is kind of what it's been like this whole time. It's like you might seem like a minor disappointment, and that was my day, a year to the day. It was one of the best days I lived. I went and drank wine in the Seine with thousands of other people, listening to really cool music, hanging out with a friend that I had wanted to meet for a really long time. And so it went from, I was like, I remember that day so well, and I knew that what I was doing had a lot to do with what had happened a year later. And it amazes me what can happen in a year. It amazes me how it can feel like it is the end of the world, but it's just the beginning. And so one other thing I wanted to say to others who might be having a hard time is don't give up.
No.
Keep going. Your worst moment is usually your biggest access to freedom.
Yeah.
You just have to believe.
Right.
Ask for help if you need it.
That's right.
Follow your heart.
That's right.
We're not here to be miserable.
Yeah. That's, and what you just described, you take ayahuasca or mushrooms or something to have an experience, to experience just a brief moment in time of something like that. And you've actually just described something that's occurring and going to occur more and more until it's just like, until it's just the constant flow of life, and that is to have these embodied in physical matter experiences that were once reserved for non-physical experiences, to include hallucinogenic plant medicine, that type of thing. We don't have to do it, man. I mean, this is what's happening.
No, I used to do acid mushrooms all the time. I stopped doing it a couple years ago because my life is more psychedelic now than ever. I released those medicines because I don't need that anymore.
Right.
Because I'm ready to experience the life. I'm ready to create that in every day. So yeah, it is a bit like being on acid all the time, which is weird.
Yeah, I know, man.
But
I keep telling Morgan, I
it's
feel like
fine.
I'm in a hallucinogen.
Like when the earthquakes happened, I fell sideways, and I was like, what the hell is going on? And then, hours later, Julie told me, or somebody, I don't even know who, but we figured it out. And I don't know, it's a fun time. Coming from a person who struggled really a lot and carried that cross on my back. But then another part of your point that I wanted to just make, this is also not for just holy people anymore. The sacred experience, the religion, what people would have called the religious experience, what was behind all these divine orders of, you gotta study for like 60 years and pass all these initiations. Yes, you still pass initiations, but you create them for yourself. And it's not to keep you away from it, it's to make sure you're ready.
Yeah.
But this kind of adventure that I'm talking about, okay, so maybe not everybody's going to go to France, but the type of magic that this is all about is available to each and every one of us every day. Yeah. Everyone can take a picture of the sun. Everyone can go outside and look at those stars and feel the wind. Everyone can give a hug to a stranger and feel what it feels like to just be there in that right moment and be that love in the world, And like, if we embrace these experiences more, then they can happen more often. You notice that begins to be the tone of your vibration. And that's kind of how you slowly start stepping away from that world where everything is boxed in.
Yeah.
And you're waiting and waiting. It's like, no, just keep doing.
Yeah.
Just keep experiencing every day, something new.
And when you do that, more comes in.
Always.
And that's trippy. But you know what?
Well, why do you think I donated to you this morning? I got donations that I needed. And I said, all right, what's the first thing I got to do? Pay it forward.
Yeah.
So I went and bought some homeless people food today. And I'm going to tomorrow. There's a lot of homeless down here. And I sent you because you know what, Todd? A lot of what has come my way is because of the support you and Morgan have provided and the Soulogy family. And so when one of us does well, we all do. Yeah. And I like to keep that process going. That's love.
Yeah.
That's a family. That's a community. This is a community for real.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
This is not just a bunch of people talking shit. Like, I asked for help and my God, I got answered. Yeah. I cried so many times yesterday.
I didn't know how I was going to even get on. But
Oh yeah, this is morning for you.
But I knew it was you, and I was like, okay, yeah. But I did a show at 7. I didn't know I was even going to do one. It was supposed to be tomorrow, and the lady's like, oh, it's today. I'm like, okay. It was 4 minutes to 7. I hadn't even done my normal stuff, And I'm like, okay. But it was all perfect. And then I saw you, and I was like, oh my God, that makes even more sense. I told Morgan, I feel like I'm going to vomit, but not that vomit where something's wrong. It was like the energy was so overwhelming. I was like, oh my God, I got to go vomit, because I knew something huge was happening. I can still feel it. So, yeah.
Well, we're broadcasting from the everything is all right crystal system now. You remember whenever we used to hear those terrible phrases in the back of your mind? You can't do this. This isn't going to work. We're broadcasting from the Yes You Can network now.
Yeah.
Yeah. We took it up a notch.
I know exactly what you're saying. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't you ever hear it? Like now I'll go and do something, and instead of like, you shouldn't do that, this is dangerous, all I hear is, you are loved. You are safe. This is great. And that's that kind of feedback loop of happiness and positivity and support is now also available. And so I invite other people to switch their bandwidth and to be ready to receive that. If you would like to hear that support, you can. The earth is speaking to us again, the way she used to.
That's right. That's right. Don't forget, let me know where you're at. Send me messages. Let's keep it going. Let's just keep it going. Let's not plan anything. I love you too. I love Damien.
We never plan anything together. It just happens. Yeah. Thanks Morgan for being the linchpin in this particular meeting. She knew.
She did. Yeah, she did.
She's
on it, man. Believe me. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're all on it though.
You are divine companions. That's for 100% sure, Yeah,
man. This is the real shit. When are you going to see Vera?
Well, I think I'm booking a plane ticket to go there on Friday. I was booking a plane ticket right before this, but I didn't fully get it. So I just need to double check. Oh yeah, I'm going to the grotto, and then it's totally in France. I don't want it to get heavy. I've decided to go take a break.
Well, you enjoy yourself, and you be careful, and have fun, and whatever you do, go all the way. Do it all the way. Amsterdam is a PowerPoint of, that's pure. That's pure lime. And Vera, to be around Vera and Augusti, oh my God. Marco, oh my God. Hank, oh my God. You guys are going to have a blessing. Stay in touch. I love you.
Love you. Thank you to everyone.
Yeah. Y'all take care.
Talk soon, Todd.
Okay. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Peace, brother.